Um, I hope everybody's ready wherever you're at. If you celebrate it, I hope that you're here for the holidays, family, all the stuff. I do this morning. I talk about insulin resistance a lot. I talk about why it's linked, but I realize I don't talk enough about how I got over mine, how I reversed my diabetes, and what's changing the world with that. So we're going to talk about that this morning a lot more. And I want to bring up something. So those of you who follow me saw that I wasn't live on Friday, and that's because I have no gallbladder. And although I ate healthy food, I had a really bad bout of gastritis, and so I was just in pain and unable to be on live for a while. Why did I lose my gallbladder? Because of insulin resistance. So, why am I on here talking about it every day? Because I don't want people to suffer like I did. I don't want people to have to go through the long lasting effects that I'm going through, which are things like 3 joint replacements and a gallbladder that's gone that causes me pain. And what to eat Thursday night that set this off? Who knows? I had spinach, I had shrimp, I had some avocado, a little bit of queso, and some avocado lime dressing on it. That was my dinner, and yet it set off this severe gastritis pain. I think maybe it was the shrimp. Who knows? Because that was the only thing that was really different from what I'd been eating in the last few days. But losing your gallbladder is no joke. And when they tell you, oh, you have problems, we're just going to remove it, your life is going to be better, that's a lie. Also, when they're telling you all of this stuff and nobody's addressing why I'm getting sick, like I scrolled just like everybody else, and I saw some amazing person who had gastric bypass surgery and she lost a ton of weight, and I applaud that. And I'm so thankful that people are really, really trying to take control of their health. But what was going on in the back of my mind was she did this gastric bypass surgery. She's lost tons of weight. She looks fabulous, but she still hasn't changed what got her there in the first place. So I've dealt with people time and time again who have done very similar things, and within a few years, they're right back where they started, or they have other problems now springing from the surgeries. So you guys, this time in life and history, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to be more self-aware. We need to understand what's causing us to be sick. And what's causing us to be sick is our food and the fact that we eat too much. So let's see if I can find my graphics here. That's not it. The silly thing. I have a graphic up here that is from I was playing games with my kids last night, and I had a really great night because I am not a gamer. My kids are, but you know what? We found that it's a great way to connect. So I just saw that. Anyway, all right, insulin resistance, you guys, is causing all of the stuff that is you see on the list, and it really is devastating to our health. And how are we going to adjust that? How are we going to address it? What do we need to do? So there's a couple of things we should be doing to address resistance. If you guys see yourself on the list and want to know how all of those things together, I know there's confusion. People like Alzheimer's or liver disorders or kidney disease or sleep apnea or PCOS. How are you telling me that links to insulin resistance? If you want to know, ask, and I'm going to tell you. So, Pamela says she keeps coughing all the time just before insulin goes up, driving you mad. Acid, and watching how PCOS is better. I'm so sad. I know a long time ago, Pamela, right? So you guys, all of this stuff links in. There's a few things I do want to talk about this morning. Fiber is one. Fiber is key, and it's huge. So let's talk a little bit about what insulin resistance is. Maybe we'll just go back to that so you guys can understand why we're getting sick, and then I'm going to show you a couple of things. And man, I'm learning every day to everybody else, and I had to take a reality this morning and realize I'm not even doing enough for my insulin resistance because I I like everybody else think I can do it the easy way. So we're gonna go over that diet for insulin resistance. We'll just hop into that. I want to do this for you guys, so When we talk about insulin resistance, let's really briefly understand that what's happening is our food is converting into sugar too quickly, and we're eating too often, converting into sugar too quickly, too often, which creates this need for insulin. So, some of the things you want to do for insulin resistance, um, it's not up here, but fiber is one. So, fiber, fats, protein, and fasting. Those are the things you need to do for insulin resistance. I actually have 6 simple steps, and that's fiber, protein, fats, limit your carbs, fasting, and get your body moving. But we're going to focus on the food portions this morning. So, if our food is converting into energy too quickly, and that's what's making us sick, then we need to understand that we need to look at the food that we are eating and address that. You'll eat anything but sugar won't spike. Yeah, so I don't know about fig leaf. What I go by is some science-based, scientifically proven ideals and products that or supplements that are helping with the whole thing. So we're going to get to that. But what came to my mind this or came across as I was listening to Mindy Pelz actually. Do you know you don't the activity level, you can fast even with a high activity level and it's healthy for you. Hey Tanya, you're on Feel Great also. Great. So Tanya, okay. All right, let's go over this. So the fasting, let's deal with that because people are saying I don't like the fasting. Well, you understand the cycle of metabolism, insulin, then you're going to understand why you need to fast, even with a higher. You can get all the nutrients you need in within an 8-hour window as opposed to a 12-hour window. But what's happening is metabolically, you're allowing your body to do its job. It takes about 2 hours for your blood sugars to stabilize after you eat, but about 4 hours for them to come down after you eat. It takes that long for your stomach. It takes at least 2 hours for your stomach to empty completely. And a few hours after that, up to 8 hours after those blood sugars start to come down, before your body realizes we don't need insulin now, especially when you're severely insulin resistant. So it takes about 8 hours after you eat for that insulin to come down. And that's really the key to this, right? But if you start eating again after 8 hours, you're just spiking insulin back up. But what's happening that you're missing is it takes about 2 hours after your insulin levels come down for the component hormone glucagon to come out and do its job. So they both deal with blood sugars, right? But when you have insulin in your body, you can't burn fat. It's blocking that fat breakdown and it's encouraging fat storage. When glucagon, the other hormone in your metabolic story, comes out, it wants to burn fat. So insulin is a saver, glucagon is a spender. Glucagon actually does put blood sugars or sugars back into your blood by way of removing it from your fats and from your liver. If you never allow glucagon to come out to play, you're missing a whole 50% of your metabolic story. So when you start eating consistently, even when you have a higher activity level, you're missing some of this. After glucagon comes out, then it takes another couple hours for this body to be like, oh, it's safe from insulin. So now we're 10 hours after our last eating. That would be considered, or 10 to 12 hours would be considered a shorter fast. But at about 12 hours, when your gut is starting to reset, it's taking a minute. When that gut starts to reset and that microbiome is getting better, it's sending cues to the liver to send out ketones. You're building your own natural ketones. And what do those ketones do? They tell you to burn fat for fuel. So unless you're extremely lean or a woman in a certain cycle of your period, there's no problem with fasting, even with an increased activity level. We have athletes, world athletes, who do intermittent fasting all the time, and they're extremely healthy with it. So you're pre-diabetic with hypoglycemia. Let's talk about that. Sugar stays low a week before your period. All right, so if you're pre-diabetic pre-diabetic and you have hypoglycemia, first let me tell you, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm a woman who does a lot of reading and studying from the people who know to figure out why I got sick and how I got better, and then I share it with you guys. So this is what I know. If you're pre-diabetic, that means you have high levels of insulin. It's gone past insulin resistance. You're now pre-diabetic and you're headed towards diabetes because your insulin levels are continuing to rise because your sugar level in your blood is continuing to be high all the time. You're probably being told to take some rescue drink, like some juice and all of that. So I'm going to give you something else to think about. I'm not going to tell you what to do because I can't, but I want you to understand this. If your blood sugars are dropping because you have too much blood sugar, this is what it looks like. You have trained to need insulin all the time. Now, insulin is high in your body all the time. Insulin is an energy transport hormone. So when you're eating foods like simple carbohydrates and all of them, you're continually spiking sugar. So your blood sugars go up, but insulin is now so high because you're pre-diabetic that it's grabbing that blood sugar and it's delivering it as quickly as it can. Most often where it's delivering it is to your liver or your fat cells, because the rest of your cells have become insulin resistant. Although it could be like some cells that like to take up excess, your skin cells, keratinocytes, and that causes skin tags, or melanin, which causes the melasma and the acanthosis nigricans, or there's some endothelial cells in the interior of your bloodstream that will take up excess insulin. What happens is it thickens the inner wall of your blood vessels, and now you're starting to have high blood pressure, all while you have low blood sugar, because insulin has been trained to do its job well, is taking that sugar out of your bloodstream, which it's supposed to do. Now your blood sugars drop because you're paying attention to that marker. And more doctors are talking about the fact that look at A1 blood sugar and triglycerides, flawed, because we're not catching you till you're already sick, till you already have this system set up where your body is going through your sugars too quickly. By the way, hypoglycemia, when you add these fibers back in, it slows down that blood sugar delivery, slows down that rise and fall of your blood sugars, and now you start to normalize and the hypoglycemia starts to get better. Okay? Yeah, Jeep Chick, you have a new name. But so yeah, the metformin, and that is, I'm not a big proponent of that, although I'm going to be saying that I'm going to be working with a doctor who does prescribe some of those in extreme cases. I chose to go ahead and work with him because he's addressing the health risks and not doing it just as a weight loss or a quick fix thing. So most of y'all know I do not like the medications. I still stand by that. I'd never choose it for myself. However, I'm not everyone, and my body's not like everybody else's. So, Tanya Lee, you just had fasting insulin, and what did that look like, Tanya, after you've been on the system? So, I don't know a lot about berberine. I know that it can help. I'm not going to negate that. But when I talk about what really is regulating blood sugars, building your gut microbiome, doing all of these other things, it's going to be fiber. So there was a study, I was just reading one of our studies, and the average person needs about 30 grams of fiber a day. So if you look at your whole foods and you look those up and try to see how much food you'd have to get 30 grams a day, we're just not built like that, nor is the food that we have today giving us the fiber we used to get in such high density. And the studies are showing that, like, the fiber matrix that I use is actually works better in the system than fiber from a lot of the whole foods today. I'm not saying don't eat whole foods. I'm absolutely saying eat whole foods, but I'm saying we need some help with it. Fiber is going to be key. Fiber does so much in your system. Reduce blood sugar spikes, helps regulate your blood sugars, helps regulate your fats, helps, I mean, with your heart, because it's helping with that cholesterol. It's helping your gut microbiome kick out things called ketones that help you burn fat for fuel and keep you full of energy without eating excess food. It can help you feel full. It does so much for you. Fiber, if I had to just look at, and we have a naturopathic clinician who, from the all of those things with berberine and all of that. And I just had a doctor talking about how there's not a scientific study on berberine yet. So I'm going the science route. But she used to do all of these prescriptions for people with all of these things, including things like berberine and black seed oil and timing and all this stuff. It does the Feel Great system because it's been helping her clients more. It costs less than overall than all the stuff that they're adding in. It's much more simple. So what we do is tea in the morning. This is what I'm making now. It tastes great. This is lemon gin, but this is giving me mental clarity. It's waking me up. It's helping give me energy without any jitters or crash. It's getting to my brain so that my brain can function. It's helping ketone production in my body so that I'm burning fat for fuel easier in an already fasted state. So dinner last night was about 7 p.m. So we're just under 14 hours into a fasting state for me. Now, I'm going to be fasting for 2 days right now. So will I still have yes, because it doesn't break my fast. I have my fiber during this fast right now because it doesn't break my fast. In fact, it helps, like I said, the gut microbiome activate, and it starts cleaning up the gut, and it starts telling the body to get all of the stuff out of my liver that's been so damaged and get the fat cells burning. So berberine doesn't do all of that on its own. This tea and the fiber that it does. 3.87 last time you checked your triglycerides divided by HDL. So you still have some work to do, Tanya Lee. Insulin was 3, C-peptide 3, both in green. Barely insulin resistance was 6.57. So some doctors used to say if your insulin was below 10, your HOMA, H-O-M-A insulin, was below 10, you're safe. Now, HOMA, from what I understand, HOMA, insulin resistance, is a more complete and more dialed in test of your insulin. People say all the time, oh, I have my insulin tested, and well, they did the generic, really inexpensive type of insulin test. They might not be catching it. And so some are having problems with that. But so the fact that it's 3 is good. If you can get that down to like 1.5, you'll be cooking, right? And then getting that other calculation of the triglycerides divided by your HDL down under 1.5. What's happening there with triglycerides divided by HDL? So you guys all get out a paper and pen and write this down, because this is one test that you tell how insulin resistant you are. And that is to look at your labs and do exactly what Sonia said. Take triglycerides and divide it by your HDL. What you want is a number that's below 1.5. If it's above 2, you're starting to have problems. Above 3, you need to address it. It's telling you two things. It's telling you your risk for cardiovascular disorders, but it's also telling you your risk for insulin resistance. The fact that those numbers are still that, so your HDL must be low if your triglycerides are coming down, but your HDL hasn't come up yet. It's because you still have some cholesterol issues. Now, look, if you've been insulin resistant for a while, it's going to take a while for all of that to clear out. So if you have a skyscraper and it's filled with pipes and all the pipes start to get clogged up, I think that a plumber is going to come in and clear every one of those pipes throughout that whole building in a week, in a month? Probably not. Our bodies are so intricate. There's over 30 billion microbes in our body at any given time. 10 times more microbes in our body than stars in the sky. Crazy, but that's how our bodies work. So we've got to give our bodies time to heal. So Tanya, sounds like you're on the way, right? But we need to continue with the protocol. You need to continue cleaning up a system that got so damaged and out of whack in the first place. What else do we got going on here? 8.1C 6.1, which is great. Insulin fasting is 13. So you heard what I just said, Jeep Chick. We got to get that insulin level down. So A1C at 6.1 and that fasting insulin at 13 indicates that you're still having some insulin resistance. As long as those numbers are coming down, you're reversing. It's not going to just like overnight flip switch and different, right? Oh, you're so welcome, Abby. Um, you're working. So Tanya Lee says she's working on it. It's a marathon, not a sprint to better health. Absolutely. And by the way, you don't wake up one day and go, hey, I'm going to be a world-class runner and expect that in a week you're going to be breaking records and winning events, right? You know that it's going to take some work to get there. Whatever it is, when you out, you know that it's going to take some time. Why do we feel like our health should be just like over? Why? Because medications are telling you you can reverse something in a week, but you're not. You're masking issues and you're not getting better. And it's a lot sold that I hate. So I want to do it the natural route. That's my gig. Hey Jackie, the more active you are, the more your sugars drop. So you hate it. So G check, what we want to do with you probably is something like this. You're probably not getting in protein. How much protein are you getting in a day? So tell me that. Let's look at that. And then Margot says, is the fiber in the tea? No, the fiber is separate. So it's two things that I drink at 3 points during the day. Now I'm fasting for 48 hours, but I'm still going to do the protocol, the normal, because I want my liver cleaned up. I want to get those little messengers that are telling my liver to send out ketones to clean up my liver to continually, because I lost my gallbladder, which means my liver was sick, right? Gallbladder sick means the liver was sick. So tea in the morning, that's drink one. The second has the fibers in it. So this is great for energy and weight loss. This is great for blood regulation and fat control, and all that microbiome stuff, right? I have not gotten the water book yet. I'm actually packing to leave. Today and tomorrow are moving days, and Wednesday is a cleaning day. So I'm not going to be able to ingest much more information than what I can listen to on the TV as I'm packing and but I will get the water book. And I do love drinking water, you guys. I am super hydrated. Look, on my desk right now, I have my tea, my hot tea, ginger. I have my cold tea, which I'll start drinking after the hot tea's gone. And I have water. So yeah, I'm all about hydration. Don't get me wrong. Okay. So we were talking about fiber, fats, and somebody was talking about the low energy, low glucose. So this is what I learned this morning, you guys. I've been trying to tell you to eat more fat, to more protein. Let's focus on protein for just a second. Thank you. I really do try. I appreciate those kind words. Somebody said I have a good heart, and you guys, I appreciate that so much. It means a lot to me. But protein. So you know how I always tell you 60 to 80 grams of protein? Well, that's great. That's great for just maintenance of your health. But if you want to lose weight, if you want to stay satiated, if you want to start to get those blood sugars under control, Dr. Mindy Pels this morning was talking about what I learned when I was powerlifting and why I started to slide away from it. I don't know, but about a gram of protein for every pound of weight that you are. So, yeah. So let's deal with that, and then I'll talk about statins. So for me, I'm right at 200 pounds. I've only been getting in 80 to 100 grams of protein. Why do I have some breakthrough hunger? Why do I have some other stuff? Well, I've got ADHD, I've got all this other stuff, but I'm not getting enough protein. So my focus now is going to be getting in more protein. So for me, I keep what I do eat, my eating into an 8-hour window. So for me, I might have 3 meals in that 8-hour window because I need to up my level of protein. Now that means I'm going to have to get in at least 40 grams of protein per sitting in order to get to that hopefully 200 grams. And actually, I'm going to have to get in more than that. But that also means I'm going to have to be more active to maybe use my protein up. You guys, wow. I had this like pinball thing going on in my head. So, you guys all, I have a ebook called 6 Simple Steps to Revert to Overcoming Your Insulin. I can't remember what the second part is, but it goes in there and it talks about all of these simple steps that I talk about. And then there is a list, not from me, from a doctor, of different proteins that work. So whether you're carnivore, whether you're kind of somewhere in between, or whether you're vegan, because I'm not the vegan expert, but look, one of the best sources of protein if you're diabetic is going to be red meat. Ouch, right? Ouch. People are saying like, no, I want to stay away from red meat. I want to stay. No, science is showing that red meat actually is helping with diabetes. Now, you don't have to go as far as the Peterson girl and do the lion diet. I mean, if you choose to do that, great. But you don't have to go that far. Up the red meat in your diet. Some doctors, like Dr. Lee, are saying get in salmon 3 times a week, omega-3s. I eat a lot of chicken. Someone was doing the other day, and she was talking about how she eats turkey a lot. And I'm like, why are you eating turkey? I just want to know. And it wasn't for the protein, it was for the low fats. You guys, you have to have fat with your protein. 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 Stop eating the lean cuts of meat. That's only making you fatter and sicker. You need that fat to help metabolize your protein, to help store your protein, to help keep you full, and to do a whole lot of other metabolic processes. But I'm not talking about seed oils, which I've done. I did a video on linoleic acid in seed oils and how it can actually cause some excess insulin resistance. Go watch that video. I have one queued up on hexane, what seed oils are drenched in to process them, and it's a solvent and how damaging it can be. Now you're getting trace amounts of it in the seed oils, but when you're eating things that are processed all the time, fried, all this, all the packaged foods, all of that, you're getting a lot more of that than you think. No, chicken and turkey are not the same meat. Turkey is far more lean, way less fat in turkey than there is in chicken. So as far as grams of protein per ounce of meat, they're probably pretty similar. It's just that turkey is so much more lean and you're not getting the fats. So eat turkey if you want it, but understand that you're going to need to add some excess fats, whether that be avocado or olives or coconut or butter, ghee. You're going to need to add some more fat if you're relying on turkey. Most people switch to turkey. They thought that leaner, right? And that's making us fatter. We're going to talk about statins. Yes. Okay, so statins, actually, they're notorious with insulin resistance. They're there to help bring down cholesterol levels, right? But what's actually happening is now they're starting to show that it's causing more insulin resistance, which is causing more of that cholesterol. So it's actually making the problem worse. People who are taking the statin drugs are finding they're getting sicker. They're having to take more of it. They're having to take more of it because they're getting sicker. So I will do a video on it later today because I don't have all the science in my head right now. But doctors like Bickman will talk about how damaging they are. And I know I watched some other doctors talking about it this week as well, because my brain is a little bit scrambled with the move and Christmas and everything going on all at once. So I'm going to take a breath and promise you a video that will give you actual data instead of just me trying to pull something out my butt. But I do know statins are causing more insulin resistance. The why, I'll have to do that in a video. Metformin, according to Dr. Bickman, one of the weight loss drugs, and I know it's being touted as a great drug for a lot of people. This channel is not about drugs though, so I'm not a proponent of those. Metformin even can still have some side effects, right? The doctor put me on metformin before I found the system. I got sick. I got violently ill. My whole body hurt. I was having a number of other issues. So you can look at PR. You guys can look up in the PR yourself. I'm a little disturbed. The PR took out the long list of complications from medications. It's like Big Pharma got to them. I don't know. Reactive hypoglycemia. Again, reactive hypoglycemia happens not because you're not getting enough sugar in. It happens because you're getting too much sugar in. So, by the way, we're going to stop real quick. If you guys want the system that I'm using, let's talk about that because I want to talk about fiber. Click on my link up above, my picture up above. I'm going to drop a link in here. And you're going to find it there. When you use my link, you're going to get to talk to me. You're going to get help from me. If I don't know I will go look it up or I will go find it. Do you guys know that's what your doctor does? Your doctor doesn't carry most of this stuff around in their head unless it's something they're doing all the time. They run back and they look in manuals, they look in references, and they find all the information. So a lot of times that's what happens when you bring them stuff and they leave and they come back a few minutes later. Oops, they're looking stuff up. I worked for doctors for years, and you know what? Actually, a lot of times in some of the clinics I work in, the doctor would go in, they would give the dice because they're the one with the license, right? But then the doctor was like, this is what's going on with them, go in and talk to them about it. And the doctor just trusted that I knew what to say to the people. So I was the one going in and doing the education on their hormones and stuff, directed by the doctor. But yeah, I was the one who was left to go in and talk about it. So doctor looking stuff. All right. There's a link. So we do ship to Europe. Actually, you guys, the product is available worldwide. The last time, I'm sure there's more than that. We started out at 20 countries with the system. We were at 34 a couple of months ago, and I need to look. We're probably in more countries than that. The link that I sent you, if you click on the top link where it says to buy the system that I use, it will ship to you based on the location you're in. So it reads your IP address, it sends you the products on where you're at. So like Australia, New Zealand, you're coming from Singapore, UK, we have distribution centers there. We have them we actually have offices in the UAE. So we have offices and distribution centers worldwide. It's not all coming from the US. When you click on the link, it's going to read your IP address and send you to the appropriate website for you, because every country has different regulations for food, and this is food, okay? So reactive hypoglycemia, and I want to make sure, okay. So again, whew, you guys, I'm all over. When we're eating too much sugar all the time, that's what's causing your hypoglycemia. The fact you're having this huge insulin spike. So let's take a look at I'm going to show you a graphic real quick. Okay, hopefully this, because I'm a visual person. Somebody can tell me something all day, it'll make sense. Will I retain it? No. I need to see it. I got to see it. So let's reverse this around and I'll do this graphic. All right. So this is happening with reactive hypoglycemia. You're eating food converting to sugar too often. Okay. When you have that glucose spike, again, insulin is already present in your body because you've trained that hormone to be in your body consistently because you're eating all the time. You're eating foods that convert into sugar too quickly. And the diabetes educators, man, forever they've been telling you. I used to do this when I worked in convalescent homes. We would, if they had diabetic crash, we gave them fruit juice, which is causing more of the problem. All right, so you have this glucose spike, your blood sugars go way up high, your insulin is already out and active because you've been eating every 2 hours, because you've been eating processed foods, because you've been eating food that converts into sugar too quickly, and insulin takes that and delivers it really fast. Now, because insulin says this person is going to eat more of this simple sugar, they're going to eat again soon. They're going to be picking up chips, popcorn, candy, something, popping it in their face, nuts, whatever, you guys, and they're going to spike the insulin again or spike the blood sugars again. So I got to be ready. I got to get rid of this load that they got in here, so I can be ready for the next load that they're about to put in, because you've trained yourself to act like this, right? You trained yourself to act like this. Now, the glucose spike drops and you have reactive hypoglycemia because insulin did its job so well because it's ever present. What we want to do to get that under control, your blood control altogether, is look, and this isn't just about fat burning. This is what most of us are right now. Only see how it says meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. Most of us are meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, meal 5, meal 6, meal 7, meal 8, meal 9, meal 10, meal 11, because we're snacking all the time, and each one of those is a meal. So every time you do that, you pump up your glucose. Every time you pump up your glucose, your insulin goes high. Now you do that repeatedly, and the insulin never gets to come down. It's super high because you ate refined foods. You ate foods that were high in sugar. You ate foods that converted into sugar too quickly. Your insulin is high, and it hasn't had a chance to get down. You think your blood sugar low, so you eat again. Now you're training yourself to be in that negative cycle. We need to get those insulin levels down and get more sustainable sugar delivery into your system so that the insulin levels can stay low and only come out when they're needed. So right now we're having insulin in our system all the time. And because we've trained it to say they're going to need it, so we need to do this. So how we're reversing that with the hypoglycemia. Oh, by the way, Dr. Benjamin says that sugars can drop to like 60. Yeah, so we're gonna talk on that. So sugar can drop to about 60 as long as you're not feeling faint, like you're gonna pass out, like you're extremely fatigued or starting to have a headache. Those are cues that your blood sugar has gone too low. Now, at 60, you might be feeling some of those because your metabolism is jacked up, right? So now you might need to get something else in your system. So I don't have hypoglycemia. Here's the thing. Be careful with just dumping excess sugar, because you see how you're yeah. Look, I probably had hypoglycemia and was unaware of it because I wasn't doing blood glucose monitors. I wasn't doing all that stuff. I was stubborn. I had my head in the sand. I didn't want to know. I was sick, but I didn't want to know all the little details. Every time I ate, I would get cold. I would get shivers. I would get tired. I wanted to crawl under the couch and curl up with a blanket. Just fatigued. Hypoglycemia, right? I don't have any of that anymore. I eat, I'm fine. We just run around, do our business. But so what you want to do is you want to start regulating the sugars that you are eating. Of course, I'm going to advocate for whole food diet and less processed food. Not all of us are there or have that ability right away. So we want to stair step you in. I don't want people to jump in and just like gung ho, here we go. We're going to change everything about our world. And in 2 weeks now it's too difficult. And you're like, I can't do this. I can't sustain it. I want you to get sustainable. The reason I love the system is it makes sustainable. So again, I have a tea in the morning. It's giving me energy. I think I only had like 4 hours of sleep last night because I'm doing this move. I'm doing all these things. It's raining. I'm trying to find little times in the rain. Of course, it stops raining when I'm live so that I can get my car loaded so I can go get all the stuff done. Anyway, so I have a ton of energy right now. Shouldn't have, but I do. But it's also helping with fat burning. It's helping with mental clarity. There's a number of things with this that are helping with your metabolism anyway, but I want to get to the part for your hypoglycemia, right? Eventually, you're going to want to start to do some intermittent fasting, and that's going to help. But right now, if you're having hypoglycemia, the best thing you could do is to get rid of those processed sugars. Okay. If you're going to have carbohydrates, think green, think above ground, think raw whole foods. That's the first step for you, is to get rid of those processed sugars as much as possible. Potatoes are great. They're more starchy, less sugary, but still converting into energy. But I would rather see you eat potatoes than a slice of bread. Okay. Now, in order to get those blood sugars regulated, we have to understand that our food has been highly modified. Even when we're shopping in the perimeter, when we're doing all those things, we have this. I have everything packed away. I don't have it. Oh well, we're gonna use this. You can barely see it, but this. A peach used to be about the size of this, right? This little thing here. That's what our peaches used to be like. They were crunchy, they were hard, they were a little bitter, a little sweet. They had a really interesting taste. But we were like, we want it bigger, we want it sweeter, we want it more delectable. And now we have these big old peaches that are bigger than the size of my fist, that are juicy and sweet and less crunchy. Sometimes you'll get a hold of a peach and it's crunchy. And you're like, what is this? Why is my peach crunchy? Because it has more fiber in it. We need about 30 grams of fiber a day, and most of us are getting less than 10. Even when we're eating raw whole foods, and like whole bunches of foods, raw whole foods, you're just not getting fiber in. So this has 5 grams of fiber. Why this fiber if it's only 5 grams? Well, when I do 2 of them, that's 10 grams a day. If I do 3, that's 15 grams a day. That's better than what I was getting, and that's getting me closer to the 30. Now, if I rely on the other foods that I should be eating, like asparagus, and we had some amazing Brussels sprouts the other night, and spinach, all of that, I'm getting much closer to 30 grams of fiber without me having to worry about how I'm going to get all that food in. And there's a scientific study I was reading that says this fiber is actually more usable in your body for food, but because it's targeted for this, it's working better for the blood glucose and the fat regulation than even the whole foods are. Do I say don't eat whole foods? Nope. Do that. Add this. That's going to help your blood sugar. Oh, fruit in general. I know. I'm listening to there's a new guy out. I can't remember his tag, but he's about getting diabetes under control, and he talks about fruit and how we utilize fruit and blah blah. I'm not saying don't eat fruit, but canned fruit is not good for you. Canned fruit, no. No. The preservatives have to be in there, number one, and all of that. But you guys, look, fruit has some glucose in it, and it has some fructose in it. This is the biggest difference. So most of your glucose gets metabolized through your liver, but there's other places that can utilize and metabolize. But the only place that can metabolize your fructose is your liver. So I talk about fruit. It's not that I hate fruit. It's not that I don't want people to eat fruit. It's not any of that. I want you to eat fruit that has less additives to it, has less sugar to it, has less of that. And I want you to focus on the fruits that are giving you more fiber while you're getting that fruit in, so that your liver isn't overloaded, because it's already overloaded. We're eating too often, too much, yada, yada, yada. So now our poor liver is like churning all day long, and it's eventually starts to get fatty and sick and wants to go bad. Apples are great. Can I give you a couple of fruits that are even better for you than apples for your insulin resistance? That would be berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. They're higher in fiber, lower in sugar, okay? And they have a lot of other good components to them. But I went to Dr. Lee, yeah, because there's Dr. Yao and Dr. Lee that talk about nutrition. But according to him, pears are his number one favorite fruit. High in fiber, low in sugar, but it also has the same component in it that this tea has in it, chlorogenic acid. Those chlorogenic acids get through the blood-brain barrier. They help you with normal brain activity. They help your brain start to become less insulin resistant. Your brain needs glucose to function. And when it's insulin resistant, even though you're eating a ton of sugar, your brain gets insulin resistant too. Now it can't function. Now you have brain fog, you have migraine, headaches, you have anxiety, you have depression, you have things like autism and ADHD, and all of it are worsening because the brain function is happening properly. So chlorogenic acids are one of the few things that can cross that are helping your brain health, and they're present in pears. They're also highly present in this. This is why this was developed as a mental health tool. This has been shown in short studies. They're doing a long study on it now. They took about 30 people and gave them this tea once a day for 30 days. Their wellness score, meaning their happiness, their overall outlook life, increased by 75% by just the tea. Okay, so back to fiber. When we're talking about fiber, remember I said we need to get in about 30 grams a day. So that's why even in this fasting, eventually I'll be doing some water fasting, but not right now. I'll still be doing these today. Here's the cool thing. When I started out getting my insulin resistance under control, I had a really acidic gut. So not eating was painful because I needed something in my gut lining to soothe it, right? That's what I told myself, and that was reality. This helps soothe that, but instead of putting food in there that's causing more of the problems, I'm putting stuff in there, prebiotics that are helping feed my natural probiotics. Why did I have gut pain and why did I have acid reflux in the first place? Because I didn't have enough of this fiber. So my gut was starting to freeze up. When you're having an acidic gut, a lot of times it could be that your gut is just kind of starting to be less mobile, not moving as quickly as it should. It's not contracting like it should. It's not getting those acids that are supposed to be breaking down and pushing them through. They're kind of hanging out of gut because that's just not digesting, and now you have acid reflux. That's part of it. This helped my acid reflux. I rarely ever have it unless I get a hold of something that's high in seed oils or whatnot. Apple cider vinegar works. Is it going to do the whole job? No. It's actually part of, I want to add that back into my regimen. My father used to talk about apple cider vinegar all the time. It does wonders for your microbiome. It does wonders for your pH balance. It does all of that. So yes, do I want to rely on apple cider vinegar for all of the benefits I'm getting from this? Do I want to rely on that alone? No. Uh, am I, when I get all settled and my brain is not overloaded with all of this, do I want to start doing an apple cider vinegar shot in the mornings? Yeah, I do. Honestly, I do. I believe in apple cider vinegar for sure. My dad, old native man, talked to me about that for years. He would do apple cider vinegar all the time and loved it. For PCOS, it's the same thing for insulin resistance. PCOS is just metabolic infertility. Okay. So she's asking, how about breakfast foods for PCOS? Breakfast foods. So you guys, are you eating 3 meals a day? You should only be eating 2. Most of us can do 1, but you should only be eating 2 meals a day, not 3. So my break fast on a normal day would be about lunchtime for most people. It still is my break fast, breaking fasting window. That's all breakfast means, is that first meal after you've had your last one and had a period of not eating. That's break fast. So oatmeal, bagels, breads, waffles, pancakes, no. That's just going to spike your insulin and tell your body, oh, here we go. We're back in the old cycle again. What you want to do is have high protein and fats in the morning. And we'll talk about timing as well, because if you're doing protein, it's spiking your insulin far less than a sugary or starchy food would, right? So you're spiking your glucose less, but proteins do spike your glucose some, but it's also the hero when it comes to keeping you satiated. If you want to feel full and not have the breakthrough eating and stop all the snacking and all that, you've got to up your protein. Some interesting things about protein. Like I said, Dr. Mindy Pelz this morning was talking again, what I've heard before and fell off of because I let somebody dissuade me from it, but a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're about 200 pounds, you're going to have to get in about grams of protein. Try to get as close to that as possible. Eggs, blueberries, and Greek yogurt, good. You eat that sometimes. Everything sounds really good. The Greek yogurt, I'd be really careful with. Check the carbohydrate count, good fats. I would maybe add some avocado in there. Eggs are only about 8 grams per egg. So if you want to get to that 30 to 40 grams of protein, there's probably some protein in the Greek yogurt. If you have 2 eggs in the Greek yogurt, you're probably right just over 20 grams of protein, right? And you want to be at 30 to 40, not higher. So unless you're going to up your eggs to like 5 or 6 eggs to keep that carbohydrate count down, you're going to have to add some other proteins in there. Okay. Blueberries are great. If you can go without the blueberries in the morning, do that. So here's the thing with timing. When you wake up in the morning, you have this dawn phenomenon thing going on. Dawn phenomenon is when your body says, "Oop, this person," according to your lifestyle, and when you normally get up, because dawn phenomenon doesn't happen at 5 a.m. for everybody. Your body says, hey, this person needs to wake up. They've got a job to do today. They need to get up and get moving. So it releases cortisol in your system. That cortisol starts making your heart pump faster. So now your blood pressure is increasing and it's releasing a little bit of blood sugars into your system. Why some people have high blood sugars in the morning? Because it's trying to get you that energy to get up and get moving. So your body wants to convert more into glucose first thing in the morning. So if you're eating all of those foods that are already converting to glucose too quickly, it's going to convert higher in the morning than it does in the afternoon. So protein, the 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is for the entire day. So the question was, do I eat protein by my weight every meal or per day total? Per total. So if you're eating 2 meals and you're 200 pounds like me, that's going to look like 100 grams of protein. So I probably am going to break into 3 smaller meals, not 3 smaller meals, but 3 meals during my eating window when I go back to my 16-8 fast on Wednesday. So for me, because I'm busy and all this stuff going on, I have created some shakes that have protein, a really good source of protein from the same company in it that has high fats in it. They're about 600 calories per but they have a good 30 grams of protein or so in them. So I'll do that. And then I'll have focus on whole proteins like steak, chicken, salmon for the other meals, and eggs. I love eggs, by the way. And that then I'll be what one of my goals right now is to aim to getting my sugar levels down and my protein levels up and see what that does. So snacking, no, 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 no snacking. I don't care if it's fruits, I don't care if it's nuts, I don't care if it's whatever. You got to understand every time you eat, you're pumping up your blood glucose, you're pumping up your insulin. So now you're training your insulin to stay high because what are you doing? You're putting food in your face, right? Do you need a snack? Does your body need the snack? Are you so lean and have so little fat on your body that you need that extra energy? Do you need that snack or do you need that snack? Okay. Yeah, so you probably don't need that snack. You have enough going on here, right? If you're having breakthrough hunger, it's because you're not getting enough protein and you're getting enough fats. So, what are liquids? I drink liquids all day long. This tea, by the way, one of the things it does is it shuts down your hunger. It has an action, a natural action in it, supporting your body, not tearing it down, of the GLP-1 type drugs like Mounjaro, Trulicity, all that. This is not a drug, it's a food, but it acts similarly in your body. So through two pathways, and there's a video, you'll see Dr. Huberman's face on the video where he talks about this specifically, this tea specifically. This, not this brand of tea, but this tea. So what this does, it causes a little bit of gut distension, it causes change in your gut. So now your gut's feeling full, you're not hungry, but it's also giving some cues to your brain that you're not hungry. So now brain and gut are both like, hey, I don't need food. I'm not hungry. I'm drinking my tea. Cranberry juice and beet juice. Ooh, no. Juice, no. End of story. Juice, no. End of story. Okay, so this tea you're going to find on my link. It's part of the system that I do every day, and it's only one part. You guys talk about the tea. I don't talk about the fiber enough. Go to that link, you'll get it. This is yerba mate tea, but this tea is in this packet. So what we do is we hand pick the tea by farmers who own their own farms, ethically, sustainably harvested. We fire roast it to help to help get the components that we want to get to you out of the tea, so you're not having to take the whole of the tea. You're getting components important to you. So things like spinach. You guys know that if you don't cook your spinach, you're not getting the iron source out of it, even if it's pure concentration. I'll tell you why. No juice, no juice, no juice. The one thing I can tell you is no juice. No juice. End of story. No juice. And we're coming back to that. This tea, so it is, because it's concentrated, so after the fire roasting, we extract it, we concentrate it, so it has 375 times more chlorogenic acids than the bagged yerba mate tea that Huberman is drinking. So when he talks about those benefits and how that's with the tea, well, if you steep 375 bags of that normal tea that he's drinking, you might get here, but now you're getting a lot of pesticides and molds and whatnot. So that's a step in the process for our tea, is it's taken to a lab in Switzerland where it's put to a process called hyperpure, strips out all those toxins and stuff. Now, in this one little thing that I can mix in a bottle of water like this, or in a like this, or in a mug like this, I have 375 times the action of that chlorogenic acid as in his bagged tea. So that's, and it acts like a GLP-1, so it's keeping you satiated, but it's also sending cues to your gut. I just spilled the bowl of stuff. That's helping you kick out ketones. You can burn more fat, which is giving you more energy naturally. The energy isn't from high levels of caffeine. It's because you're actually tapping into your metabolic health and utilizing the stuff in your body that needs to use up and burn up energy anyway. So yeah, that's this tea. Now, so let's talk about the tea, and I forget to the fiber. So fat burning, energy, mental clarity, blood glucose control. This does help with weight control because it's helping control your blood glucose, your A1C, and your triglycerides. Scientific studies that show that that happens with this. One packet, the insulin spike drops by 13%. If you're having a high glucose meal, you can do 2 packets because it's food, it's not a medication. You can't, I mean, you could probably take much of this, but you can do 2 packets of this before a meal. Like Christmas is coming, right? You're having all those extra carbohydrates. You can have more than 2 of these a day, and it's just going to help regulate that. So 2 in one sitting will reduce a blood insulin spike by 28%. So over the holidays, do you want to just? It cracks me up when people say, "I'll start after the holidays." Honey, right now when you need it. Right now is when you need to be sitting down at your meal with a ham and the cherry glaze and the rolls and all these casseroles and all this wonderful yams and all the stuff that's high in glucose. That's when you need this, right? This is how people are having a real life because they're not saying, "Oh, I got to eat this whole huge bowl of salad by myself just to get enough fiber so that I can have that mini pie, that I can have that pumpkin pie, I can have that cherry pie or apple or ice cream or whatever, or all the stuff in meal." Am I saying do that all the time? No. I'm saying live your life, enjoy your family, watch what you're eating, add in the right tools to help you process that more correctly. Yes, I'm saying all that. Okay. Where do you get that? So let me put the link in again. And then you guys, the other way you can get it is if you just go to my profile and tap on my profile picture right up here, it'll bring up a box below. Click on that. Right under the red light in my profile, you'll see a link, this very link here, and that'll take you where to buy it. When you're talking about buying the system, what I want you to understand is that you don't, if you go to Walmart, Amazon, eBay, there are no authorized distributors there. So with us, you're getting a 90-day money back guarantee, you're getting a low price guarantee, and you're getting a quality guarantee. So you get my discount code, so you're getting it at the same price as me and not at a retail price, which is going to save you about $100 a month over what you're going to get it for Amazon, Walmart, eBay. They're not going to give you any of the guarantees. You don't get the 90-day money back guarantee. You don't get coaching. You don't get the quality guarantee. We found pirated products on Amazon, eBay, so it's not good. I'll show you guys where to get it here in just a second. Does the tea help you burn fat? Absolutely, the tea helps you burn fat, and it helps you burn fat even more when you're drinking it hot. You can drink it hot or cold, but hot helps amplify the fat burning effects of it. I drink 2 to 3 of these a day, more for energy. I had such bad cortisol levels. You guys had some, and my cortisol levels were a little high in the evenings. And I'm doing something. My body's like, "Oh shit, this woman's got stuff to do still." Our cortisol levels are a little high at that one point in the day. Huge difference. My cortisol levels were never in normal range at any point during the day 2.5 years ago. And doctors would tell me, I had more than one doctor tell me, "I don't even know how you're upright right now." So, yeah, my cortisol levels are normalized. I have tons of energy, but my cortisol levels are more normal than they have ever been. And all I'm doing is in more fiber before I eat. But it helps me burn fat. You don't want to have too high a cortisol. Is this Unimate? Yes, I'm talking about Unimate. Frozen chicken is okay. So I'm going to go back and get some of these. And then I'm going to show you where to get it. Let's do that real quick, and then I'll answer. So someone brings down their insulin or snack to a healthy weight. Are they allowed to have treats? You can have treats, absolutely. Like I just said, you just want to make sure that you're understanding that those treats are converting into glucose too quickly. And so to protect from that, like when it's my grandson's birthday, that I'm going to have cake and ice cream with him? No, I am. I'm just going to have 2 of these before I have the cake and ice cream. Helps slow down the blood glucose spike. It helps slow down all of that so I don't have that insulin spike. And I've stayed insulin sensitive for 2 years, no medications. Now to get it, and then we'll come back to that, to get it, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go to tap on my profile link like I just said. Let's fix this for these guys. Okay, so when you get to my profile on TikTok and in Facebook, YouTube, I put the link in there and I'll drop it in again if anybody needs it. But see these red lights? You want to click on this link right below the red lights. And there's also a video right here in the top of my pinned videos that tells exactly how to order. Okay, but click on that link. That link is going to take you here where it says this first one, order the system I use here. Now, if some of you guys are like, you drink more of the tea like I do, we now have the two pack of Yamate, save you some money and still gives you all the other benefits of the, if you do it on subscription, like the Feel Great system. I'll talk more about that in a minute, but to get the whole system, a tea in the morning, a pre-meal drink, which is fiber, vitamins and minerals, phytonutrients, prebiotics, all of that, you're going to click on that top link. You want to make sure it says Michelle on top. That's how you get connected. Do text, do call. I do answer your questions. We have them. I have asking me all the time. I love helping people. So you get that. If you don't buy from me, you don't get my coaching. Okay. So you guys is a great time. We have this berry for it's only available in December right now. So tea up here. You can have it hot or cold. It comes in 3 different flavors: lemon, ginger, or black. The black is made to feel, look, and taste more like black coffee. Same tea, different flavor. Same tea, different. Like all same. Mixed berry is a only flavor. It's great. It's one of my favorite flavors. Get that now. You will be able to get it after December. And then if you don't think you're interested in mixed berry, you can do orange, which is also a great flavor. It tastes like a creamsicle. That's the pre-meal drink. That one you're going to mix it up. You're going to drink it really quickly because it's going to thicken up really quickly. And there you go. So that's where you get, it costs about $5 a day, you guys. But when you go to Starbucks, a place like people are spending $7 a day or more on coffee. Most of those people are buying more than those coffees a day. So if you do it on subscription, it's only going to cost $5 a day. You're saving $5 off. Okay, you can cancel it at any time. You get free delivery. And yes, we were out of the free hand mixer for a little while, but we have it back now. So you get the free hand mixer that helps mix the tea in with that. So one tea and 2 meal drink. Now let's go back here. I want to show you this because there's people who are so interested in the tea. But I do want to say, if you're looking for weight loss and glucose control, do them both. If you're just needing energy, you can do the tea. It does come in this 2-pack. This is my page here because there's different links. You can get it 2 lemon. You can get 1 lemon, 1 lemon ginger. You can get a lemon and a black, however you want. Here's the when you click on any of my links, what you should see is that it takes the company website. That means the company has had control of the product. The company has had climate control. They know it's the right product. They've tested it before it comes out to you. All of that's happening. I'm not shipping it to you. The company is. You get it in 3 to 5 business days. On the outside, 10 business days, but that doesn't often happen. Okay. Can I flip my camera back around? No? Yes, maybe so. All right. Okay. The pink lemonade and apple. Yeah. So the pink lemonade was my least favorite. That was probably my best favorite. There's right in there. Yeah, Michelle, the lemon ginger, it took me a while. Like I was putting ginger in my tea in the morning anyway, but I love the lemon ginger. It's if you're not used to ginger, you're probably not going to like it. Do the lemon. ACV helps with an insulin spike. ACV can help with an insulin spike, yes. If you want to add that to your regimen, yes. But to protect you from all of that, to allow one of the things that this is feeding your gut microbiome. So some of the difference with all the other things that keep getting brought up. This is feeding your gut microbiome. So it's rebalancing your gut microbiome. Not only is it bringing your blood sugar down, not only is it helping you protect you from a blood sugar spike because it's not allowing the sugar to get to your blood as quickly. It's allowing you to stay fuller longer. ACV is not doing that. This is helping you with that delivery of food. So it's slowly adding to your system. So now you're fuller longer, you're fuller quicker, your blood glucose goes down. Okay. So ACV does one part of that. Doesn't do all of this. This is also feeding that positive gut microbiome. When that positive gut microbiome is healthy and getting fed, it's sending out little messengers to the liver. Hey, liver, release some of that stored stuff you got. You don't got to be so fatty now. Get rid of some of that. We want that energy. Your fat cells are starting to come in. Your blood glucose and your lipid levels are starting to come down, all from that pre-meal drink that I have before I eat, 10 minutes before I eat. Now, again, doing this adds 10 grams of protein a day into my diet so that it's helping me. This amount, just one pack of this. There was a doctor, was it Hunt? I don't want to misquote the, but there was a doctor talking about adding 5 grams of fiber into your diet could increase your longevity by 10, 15 years from fiber. If somebody, all right, we already answered that. Does hormones mess with sugars? Yes. All right, let's talk about hormones really quick. Not really quick, but sort of. Insulin is a hormone. That's half of your metabolic piece, right? Glucagon is a hormone. That's the other half of your metabolic piece. Insulin is a saver. Glucagon is a spender. Yeah, you're so well. Thank you. That's really what I'm here for. Okay. So, insulin, when it's in control, what I need all to understand is that insulin is a primary hormone. So if we took all hormones and threw them in a basket and said, who's going to win? Which hormone is the top? Insulin. Cortisol is really close, but insulin takes precedence over everything else. So when you're in your body, you are being dysregulated of a number of other things. So cortisol can get dysregulated when insulin is high. So now you're having this elevated blood pressure all the time because you have excess cortisol, or you're in fight or flight all the time because of insulin. It messes with your thyroid hormones. It messes with your sex hormones. It messes with your hunger and satiety hormones. So hormones are more key to wellness and health than just the calories in, calories out. ACV is not bad for us. I don't know why or who said that. I can look at ACV for sure, and then the other one, statin. But ACV helps with it. Actually, can help with an acidic gut. So all of that stuff that's in your gut causing an acidic gut can be helped with ACV. It can help with a blood sugar spike. It can help with your metabolism. You're going to find somebody who says that everything is bad at some point. I would love to know who that is. Francis, if you could message me that, you have my number. And I'll definitely look into who it is and why she said that. But I want us to understand too, though, like even me, I come on, I got stuff all the time. Like, oh, something new came out, something that it's the old is now showing that what we were doing was wrong. As a nation in the United States, we've been getting fitter and sicker every year that we've been following this low fat diet thing, and we're getting sicker. Yes, Michelle. Yay, I love that about the tea too. I actually got to drink it yesterday because AD, my grandson and whatever. But at the end of the day, I was like, damn, what's wrong? Oh yeah, I didn't drink my tea. I woke up and started running, and I have a boy he has medicines, and I didn't take care of myself yesterday. And so I could feel it because I didn't have my tea. But the tea absolutely gives you mental energy and clarity. Because within 3 days, the very first day, I noticed a difference in my energy. I wasn't feeling fatigued all day. I wasn't feeling like I had constant naps. I wasn't having all of that go on. But by day 3, Nurse Steph, when I used to doing a coaching for subconscious reprogramming. So sometimes I just blur stuff out, you guys. It's because I understand the subconscious and I understand some things. We'll talk about that later. But we were on a Zoom call getting ready for a teaching that we were going to do later in the week, and she told me to stop. And I was like, what's going on, Steph? And she said, there's something different. What did you do different? What are you talking about? She said, you have more mental clarity. You're happier, more vibrant. What are you doing that's different? The system with her, and she started within, I think, 10 days of meeting it, and she stopped either. Yeah, I noticed it right away. And then not just the mental clarity and the energy, and I was starting to sleep better, but the first week, so my blood pressure would run 180 over 150 at some point during every day, and then we get below 150 or 110. Doctors were catching why my right arm was going numb. I was so close to having my ticker explode. It was insane. But my blood pressure was read at 126 over 84 for the first time in the doctor's office within 6 days of starting this. Did it normalize there right away? No, it took a while. And I came off all my medications within 2 months of starting. I have not failed the medication. The only thing that I have is some of this I take every once in a while, like I'll be moving. So I'm going to tell you my old bones are going to be hurting because of the increased activity level, picking stuff up, and just all of that. I told you, aging is no joke. Like, I feel like I'm doing pretty well, but this whole aging thing, freaking A. I studied stuff when I was doing college about health, and it was all interesting in my 30s, right? It was all interesting. Now that I'm 60, I'm like, damn, all that stuff happening to me. Okay. All right, guys. So once again, if you want the GNZ, I saw New Zealand. Okay. Barbara O'Neill. Yeah, Barbara O'Neill, like too. I would have to understand. I've never heard her speak against ACV, but I'm sure if you're telling me that she did, she probably did. There are some differences with Barbara's teaching, and I've caught her saying some things that I just don't agree with. I'm not a doctor. I'm not as well educated as her, but I rely on people that are, and their opinion differs a little bit than her on those things. So, I, Francis, she's asking about the apple cider vinegar. Okay, guys, I'm getting messages from my daughter-in-law asking if I'm ready for her to come help me load up and get moving, and so I'm actually moving. In a couple of days, you're going to see me in a whole new environment. I moved my desk out to the living room because all my stuff is in the living room getting ready to be put on a truck. But I'll see you in the morning anyway. And your questions, I'm going to do the best I can to answer some of these crazy moving. Yeah, Francis, look, and I want to talk, before I go, I do want to talk about this. Whatever I say, whatever someone else says, there's a difference, okay? There's your intuition. You have neurons, the thinking things in your brain. They're not just in your brain, they're in your heart. Sometimes when you feel, you actually feel in your heart, but you also feel in your gut. So we're all different. Our microbiomes are different. Our genetics are different. Everything about our lives are different. You could take the two of us and put us in the exact same environment, feed us the exact same thing, give us the exact same skill, and our bodies would react differently. Okay, so you're very welcome. Yeah, I was like, you know what? It's the week before Christmas, and by the way, see my hair. My hair was a mess this morning, and I'm moving, and I didn't want to take the time, so I said put the hat on. But Francis, pay attention to your body more than anything anybody else says, but not this, not I want an Oreo cookie, not I want this because. But if your body feels good, taking apple cider, do that. Okay. You know your body better than anybody else. In fact, when this whole thing was going on, doctors were looking here, there, everywhere. They were looking at all the symptoms, they were looking at all the stuff, and they weren't helping because they were inundated by things that were happening, and I had to start listening to my body. This is what feels good. This is what makes sense. When I system, I was like, I've tried everything else, the medical medium, all these other things, and I wasn't getting help quick enough, and it was actually getting worse. And so my gut said, give this a try, and I am 2.5 years later and still giving it a try because it's working. Okay, so do that. I'd encourage you. I'll try and do a video. I don't know that I will do a video right away on Barbara O'Neill and ACV. I don't like calling other people out about what they say or not say, because they have their beliefs. But I will do a video on the benefits of ACV versus the risks of ACV, and then you can go for my father drank every morning. He also drank. I should have listened to him, because he tried to get me to drink similar to this when I was younger, before he passed away. By the way, he passed away because he couldn't quit smoking, and he got anyway. He was very healthy. His passing was very tragic, but he did ACV every day, and he was healthy as a horse. Okay, outside of his lungs for smoking. Yep. You guys, if you have, especially if you have a sick stomach, please dilute that in some water or something, and even adding some cinnamon to it is great, or some cayenne is great for your metabolism. Those are great vasodilators, helping your blood vessels open up, helping get energy to the rest of your body. So hey, Laura. So guys, I'm going to hop off. I'm going to answer these calls that have been coming in and get ready to be packing and moving all day. I'll update you on how that's going, and I'll see you at 8 in the morning, okay? Have a good day. Yeah, not alone. Don't go throwing ACV shot glass and drinking it. Your tummy's not going to like it. All right, guys, have a good one. We'll see you later. I'm answering questions and not ending this stream. I thought it